Hello, welcome to this new episode of Elevenses, the new podcast about business aviation powered by Private Jet Coach. My name is Martina Vincenzi. I am the founder of the VIP Flight Attendant Academy Private Jet Coach, and today we are here at Elevenses. As you can see, this is a little bit of a different episode because I'm here alone. However, I'm bringing to you a very nice and interesting interview that I have done to a dear friend of mine and a fellow flight attendant, Chiara. Chiara unfortunately couldn't be present in the normal interview that I run for Elevenses, but nevertheless, she decided to give her contribution by answering some questions, and today I'm gonna read to you her answers. So it's a little bit of a storytelling. I will be myself asking the questions as well as telling you the answers of Chiara. So let's get started then. First of all, you need to know a little bit about Chiara. Chiara, she comes from Italy, and she is a very experienced flight attendant. She has been flying for 25 years. We met many years ago when I started in aviation and in commercial aviation. She was also in commercial aviation at that time, and she was my instructor. So me and Chiara, we've been knowing each other for really a long time, and then eventually we progressed with our careers in a similar way, I have to say. And something that is quite interesting about Chiara is that she's coming from a hotellerie background because her family owns an hotel as well. So she has been exposed to this customer care, hospitality type of environment pretty much her entire life. So I was quite curious to learn the opinion of Chiara regarding what are the differences between taking care of your customers on ground in a hotel and taking care of your customers in the air. So when you actually have them as a customer on your flight. And so I asked her, tell me about it. What do you think? Where do you find is different or very similar? And she said, well, first of all, she was quite, as I said, exposed to the hotellerie and customer care type of environment because her family is still nowadays running the business. So she explained that she used to spend a lot of time with her grandma and with her mother when she was a kid, and observing them and seeing them while they were working. So she absorbed this customer care and hospitality skills basically by observing her. She's also she told me about a very funny story regarding a specific menu that she copied after a trip to Paris, and she visited Moulin Rouge, and then eventually she was so impressed by the menu over there that she brought it back to her grandma, and together they had rebuilt again a new menu for the customers of the hotel, inspired by the experience that Chiara had at the Moulin Rouge in Paris. But nevertheless, so Chiara said that there are a lot of similarities actually between working in hospitality on ground and working in hospitality in the air. A lot of similarities in the way you have to present yourself. So in both cases, you have to have like a neat appearance, you have to look elegant, you have to look smart and professional in the way you look. So you have to actually take a good care of yourself and pay the right amount of attention in these little details like jewelry or makeup or hair and the clothes that you're wearing, obviously. Also the approach to the client, she actually used specific words, be able to accommodate their needs, the same things between the customer in a hotel as well as the customer on board a private jet, being welcome, being nice, warm, and basically being at their disposal and helping them sorting out and having a wonderful time, a wonderful experience. Of course, there are a lot of differences if you are taking care of a customer in the ground rather than in the air, and probably one of them is the time. Chiara, for example, explained she used to have a lot of time to be able to build a relationship of trust with the customers, and the whole environment was way more relaxed because there were no visible or immediate danger. So she could creating a very trustworthy and deep sometimes relationship with the customers that maybe in some cases has developed into a friendship that she explained it has been going on until now. So like people who were like returning customer in the hotel, they became actually like family friends. So she said this is of course not always applicable during a flight because you don't have that same amount of time, but so this is a minus, in between the two situations. However, you can try to reach that level or a similar level of trustworthy relationship with your customer by seeing them over and over again. So a returning customer, for example, like it could be an owner and his or her family members, and just add a little brick on top of the other every time, one by one. Also, something that is quite different is the safety related culture that she of course developed in aviation, that it's not that much the case when you work on ground. She said, I used to be way more relaxed when I was working in the hotel and when I was dealing with the customers in the hotel. Right now, when I am on board the aircraft, I can definitely feel that, and also I want that the customers that are on board with me, they feel that they are safe. So I want to be able to transmit to them this sensation of being in control of the situation, and that I know what I have to do, and that I know how to deal with things. So this is something that eventually differs between the customer's hospitality on ground compared to the one that you have on board of an aircraft. Also, she said the most important thing is that you have to focus in the experience, in the moment that they are living right here, right now. And your ultimate goal is to make this moment special and unique. It doesn't really matter if it is, they're coming for a holiday and they spend a certain amount of time with you in the hotel, or if you have them for an hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours for a flight. Still, your ultimate goal is to make their time spent with you unforgettable, exciting, and valuable somehow. And so this goal eventually it stayed the same between the two experiences in the hotel as well on board the private jets. Something that she also mentioned to be very, very important is the product knowledge. And this point is really, really clever and interesting. So she said that even when she was at the hotel, she was supposed to be very knowledgeable about the product that she was selling, in fact. So she was selling rooms, right? She was selling meals, she was selling wines. So she personally knew every details about the rooms in the hotel, and she was able to help the customers to relax and enjoy and make themselves feeling comfortable in the hotel itself. The same thing applies also for the aircraft. So being aware of the product that you are offering to your customers and try just to make themselves being at ease, feeling at ease and in peace and comfortable when they are spending their time with you, because you know what you're doing, you know where you are, you know the environment, and you know how to, let's say, operate on board the aircraft. The second question I asked Chiara is about her working style. I was very curious to learn how she could define her working style. So Chiara immediately had a laugh, because she said, you know, I ask myself this question basically every day. So she explained that her working style is work in progress. So it's something that she likes to add on every single day, according to, you know, the experiences she had during the day. Maybe, you know, it can be a very little experience, like talking to a member of the ground staff, for example, up to having, you know, an important issue, positive or negative, with a customer or with another crew member. So she's trying to learn something every day. I definitely can see this to be Chiara's motto, because she is very much like that. She's a very curious person and she likes to learn something new every day, and she does even when it comes to work. Chiara is a very passionate aviator, so I can really see her, you know, at the end of the day, when she's maybe lie down in bed, staring at the ceiling, just reviewing, you know, the day into her head, and try to find out, to spot something that she would like to learn more about it, or that she would like to just to repeat in her mind, to kind of affix the image or the, you know, the situation for her own knowledge, for her own learning experience. She said that she has a couple of pillars that are always present in her, let's say, working style, that can possibly define a little bit more in detail what is her working style. So the pillar number one is, again, a good knowledge of your product and of your area of expertise. So getting to know more, what does it mean flying on a private jet? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for your pilots? And in particular, what does it mean for your customers? What does it mean being able to become very efficient when it comes to time, being organized, and being able to create that environment according, tailor-made on your customers' needs. So do they need to work on this flight? Okay, let's set up the environment so that it looks like an office. Do they need to rest during this flight? Okay, so let's make it cozy, turn the lights down, maybe play some soft music, just create an environment that it can be nice for them to relax and actually enjoy and having a good time. Do they want to celebrate? Are they going to, to a specific destination to celebrate, wedding anniversary, a birthday, or whatever else? Okay, so let's get into the mood and let's create an environment that can actually be helpful for them to get into the mood, to get on the same wavelength, the same type of vibes. So your product knowledge, you need to know, you need to understand what is business aviation, what does it mean for the people who actually work in this field and use private jet. Why do they do that? So only by having that knowledge, you can get closer to be able to provide a good service for your customers on board a private jet. Also, something that I absolutely agree with, she said, keep yourself up to date. Keep yourself up to date about everything. Job opportunities, new product release, new trends in new culinary trends, new wine trends, new, cheese trends. So, for example, this is a little bit of a personal note, but I discovered not a long time ago that if you want to do a whiskey tasting, you are required to eat some crackers in between the whiskeys, so to clean your palate and get all the flavors away from the previous whiskey, so you are now able to enjoy the next one. But it's not any type of cracker, is normally oat crackers. So, these little trends, how nice it would be to organize for your customers a little, whiskey tasting experience of, 3 or 4 different type of whiskeys. And by knowing that you have to add an oat cracker in between the whiskeys, it could actually be, a very nice touch. So you show them that you know about your product, you are actually on charge of the situation, that you have prepared yourself. This is just a little bit of a suggestion for you eventually for your next flight. So yeah, keep yourself up to date regarding everything that is going on in your industry, in your area of expertise, and everything that you are passionate about. The second pillar that Chiara has as a memorandum of her flight attendant style is the personal touch and the passion. She said, I always, absolutely every day deliver my service with my personal touch. So the menu that I choose is because I like it. It's, of course, mainly because maybe this is what they want, or maybe this is what they have requested, or maybe this is what it would be the best for them according to religion or nutrition needs or anything else. Yes, however, there will always be 1 or 2 things that are Chiara, that represents me. It could be, I don't know, the type of wine. It could even very, very simplistically be the type of the way I'm presenting the food. Okay, so the way I plate the food, the plate that I choose to use, that's Chiara, that's me. That represents me. She enjoys very much when she can actually have all the freedom in the world to choose the menu she wants, because this is what she's passionate about, and she can, pick whatever culinary delight and present it to the customers, and this will be absolutely Chiara. So the customers are having, let's say, she's giving out a little piece of herself on every single flight, on every single thing she does, because she wants the customers to take a little piece of her away when the experience with Chiara is done. So when the experience is over, they can still take something, they have been enriched somehow because they have taken a piece of Chiara with them. And the way that Chiara makes this happen is by putting her passion, her personal taste, her personal touch in whatever she does. She loves to entertain people as well. Chiara is a very, very chatty person. When we just had our conversation on the phone, just to write down the notes for me to be able to record this episode of Elevenses, we spent quite a lot of time together discussing about this, because Chiara is she has a very unique way to talk, and you just get mesmerized and amused by the way she explains things, because it shows again a little bit of herself and the way her brain works, which is absolutely amazing. The way she processes information and the way she presents information to you, it's very, very unique. So she's a great storyteller. And she loves to talk and to entertain by creating this direct relationship with the customers, because this is what she does with everybody. Then I asked Chiara to tell me about a special episode that is a sort of a, masterpiece, something very important that happened that she feels like sharing with us about her career in aviation. So I'm gonna try to read this story to you like I was Chiara, okay? So I'm gonna speak like I was Chiara. I got to know about this very special customer at the very, very last notice, okay? At the very last moment, I just got to know about this absolutely very VIP customer, a lady. Of course, no names can be expressed because of confidentiality. Anyway, this lady is like super famous worldwide, very important, very active in different things. She has a lot of interests, and she is a very powerful woman, very well traveled. She has interest in America, in Cambodia. She has interest in Africa. She has interests in Europe as well. So she is worldwide, super well known, super well-spoken, well-traveled, so sort of, that kind of person that you can actually say, I'd love to have the chance to have a cup of tea and a chat with this person, because I know I can absolutely learn a lot just by, breathing her the same air and just, receiving her vibes because of how interesting this person can be. So I was informed about this customer on my flight at the very last moment. By very last moment, I mean something like an hour, probably even less, before departure. So it was a last minute addition. So I absolutely tried to come up with something that could, help me to create the type of, the right type of welcoming for my customer. So I immediately went into the cabin and I arranged the cabin in such a way to make it, to make it comfortable, to make it cozy, to make it elegant, and double check that everything was absolutely clean and that everything was just spot on. I wanted also to, to make sure that everything was working properly, and as very often can happen when aircraft are not a perfect thing at all, and sometimes you have a sort of let's say minor defects, but that if you do not spot them on time, they may eventually develop in a big massive issue. So the problem that Chiara spot on that day, it was actually that the water wasn't running properly from the sink in the lavatory. So the customer's lavatory, the sink was not, the water was not coming out actually. So it's like you couldn't wash your hands, and so she discussed with the pilots, obviously immediately, because this is exactly something that you don't want to happen during such an important flight with such an important customer. Well, eventually, there was nothing that the pilots could do. There was a problem that it couldn't be fixed in the short period of time. So at least Chiara was aware of the situation, and she could, take actions about it. So Chiara said, I sorted out my own way. A little bit of, in brackets, to let you understand again what type of person Chiara is. Chiara used to go to the summer camps when she was younger, when she was a child. In Italy, the summer break from school is quite long, it's 3 months, during which the parents normally continue working, so they basically are helped by placing the children in these summer camps for normally the month of June and July, where they're basically occupied the same amount of hours like they were at school, but they're actually in a summer camp. So it's not really about studying, it's about learning something that you can do with your own hands, or anyway, keeping them entertained basically while the parents are still at work. Well, during the summer camps, Chiara learned how to sew. So with a thread and a needle to actually create, things to sew on a piece of fabric and make some designs, make something properly handmade. And you won't believe what she did. She took the nicest and most clean piece of cloth, hand towel that she could find on the entire aircraft, and she sewed the initial letters of the customer's name, so to personalize the hand towel. She managed to do that quite quickly, and it ended up to be a very nice personal touch, again, a very nice personalized gift for the customer. So when they all came on board, she went to introduce herself to the customer. She asked the customer the preferred language for communication, and the lady answered that although she knows a few languages, she would prefer to communicate in English because of feeling more comfortable. So of course they started communicating in English. And eventually she explained that there is a problem with the water coming out from the customer's lavatory, but eventually she had made at disposal of the customers some wipes, some wet wipes for them to use instead of water, and that in case she needs maybe she prefers to use a soft towel instead, and the water from the bottle of water, from the water bottle, she could have used this hand towel to wipe her hands. And the customer immediately noticed about the sewing and the initial letters on the towel. So she was very impressed, and she asked, is this for me? Chiara said, yes, I did it. It's for you. It's my way to welcome you on board and to tell you how happy I am to have you here today. So this is your personalized hand towel, personally sewed from me for you. And the lady was like speechless. She said, I'd like to take this with me. I'm really impressed, and I would like to take this with me as a memory of this flight, because I really appreciate what you have done today for me. Of course, Chiara said, please, most welcome to take your towel with you. In fact, it's yours. There is your name on it. There are your initials on the towel. So of course you can take it with you because it's yours. You can do whatever you want with that. So she took the towel away with her, and for the rest of the flight was pretty normal. Chiara performed her service, and all the customers were happy and satisfied. And then when was the time to go out, again the customers was very impressed, very grateful. She shook Chiara's hands, and she said, I really enjoyed this flight and enjoyed meeting you today, so thank you very much. Chiara said that was a very last minute situation for me. I had all this pressure coming out all of a sudden, like getting to know about the customer at the very last minute, having the lavatory that wasn't working properly, have to come out with an idea of how to sort out this problem, and also having the time to sew the initials on handmade on a piece of hand towel. All of this in something like 1 hour, because this last minute change happened really, really close to the takeoff time. So I would say Chiara sometimes can impress me to be, to have this superpower of being absolutely focused on what she has to do and just boom, 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 go through the path that she has planned for, and just make it happen. She can literally make it happen. So when she first told me about this story, I had a massive laugh and I complimented her so much. But the laugh was because something that she learned when she was probably 5 or 6 years old in the summer camp actually became very handy during a flight with a very special customer. I mean, isn't it funny? You can really go and pick from whatever experience. Anything can become handy to you one day or another. You just have to be open and to receive whatever knowledge you can, because you never know, one day you might find this useful. And so still by remembering a sort of probably old style entertainment that she had been exposed to when she was a child, it became a very, very valuable skill when she was a mature lady during a flight with a very special customer. So she can be quite hilarious, and I really had a lot of fun when she told me about this episode. I remember like it was yesterday. She called me the day after and she told me, Martina, you have to sit down. I have to tell you this story and you won't believe it. So yes, this is Chiara. This is definitely Chiara, and this is how passionate she is about her job and about the customer care and hospitality. The last question I asked to Chiara is what does she thinks are the most useful skills to have a successful career as a VIP flight attendant. And again, Chiara gave me a very long and deep type of answer. When Chiara speaks, when you ask something to Chiara, she basically take you scuba diving. You just have to be aware that if you ask something to Chiara, you just have to, wearing your oxygen bottle and the goggles, and you go down very, very deep in the sea, because she takes you very, very deep with everything that she says. So, nothing comes out just by chance from Chiara. It's actually something she thinks very well before expressing herself, in particular if you ask her opinion about something, which this was the case. So Chiara said, next February I will celebrate 25 years in aviation. I always dealt with people, even when I was little. During these years, I learned skills that I think are important, and those skills are exactly what I think is the most important skills to succeed as a VIP flight attendant. The first one is being humble. Being humble and honest, with an open mind, welcoming, warm, and being down on earth, keeping in mind that you can always learn something from somebody, whoever it is. They can always share with you something that you didn't know before. Also, being brave. Travel, living abroad, speaking another language, experience things, even talking to people is in fact a sort of a situation that requires bravery. Do you remember when you were a child and, for example, you were going out to a restaurant with your parents, and maybe your dad or your mom or whoever asked you, oh, can you please ask to the waiter to bring another bottle of water, or to bring over the bill? How Have you ever felt shy and no, I don't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable in talking to strangers. So the thing is, talking to stranger is something that requires bravery. It's something that requires self-confidence. And it's something that you actually develop in a few years. If you think about it, sometimes, for example, for me, I probably started feeling comfortable talking at the phone or talking to a stranger when I was probably 14. So something like that. So way into the teenager era. The fact that you feel comfortable in talking to people is not something that you should give it for granted, because it requires a lot of bravery, and it's something that you can develop in the year, by the time goes by. As well as travel or living abroad, how massively brave you have to be in order to feel comfortable in traveling. I mean, traveling is exhausting, super tiring. You have to be aware of, the different rules. You have to be aware of what's going on around you. It can also be quite dangerous. So how much of bravery you have to hold within yourself to be able to travel? Quite a lot. I mean, every one of us, we actually know somebody who has never been out of the city, right? But you did. So because you did, you are very brave. Living abroad, like literally moving and export your life from one country to another. Speaking another language, settling down into a different country with a different, healthcare system, tax system. That of course everybody does things differently. So whatever you were used to, that was your comfort zone, is now completely destroyed, and you have to build up again. That requires a lot of bravery, and as well as speaking another language. How often did you feel like in the process of learning a language, you feel like you don't want to talk because you are afraid of saying something that it might sound stupid, because you do not, maybe you messed up with the grammar, or you do not use the right intonation or the right pronunciation. Well, yes, of course, it's part of the learning process, and everybody does it. And this is like a step that you have to go through, that is non-negotiable. You just have to go through this part of feeling a little bit ashamed because you say something, not with the correct pronunciation. However, how brave are you to actually take the courage to do that? It really means a lot. Basically in everything we do every day, you have to use your bravery every single day. As you can see, as I said, Chiara is very, very deep, and she takes you scuba diving down to the deepest of the seas. The last skill and recommendation that Chiara gives to people who would like to pursue a career in the business aviation industry is to be creative. So do not put a barrier in learning, and probably being creative goes together with being brave. Try, experience, do something out of the scheme, do something out of your comfort zone, because you never know, you might learn something different, something that you didn't know before, and that you might even like. You might discover some new talents of yourself. You might discover something that you can become passionate about. So, being creative, it's always quite important. Being creative means also being flexible and being light. I would also add being tolerant. The tolerance is an amazing skill. If you can manage to be tolerant, you can also be very light. If you are tolerant about other people having another way to do things, or other people having another way to say things, and bearing in mind that that's their way and it's different from yours, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong. It will lift you up because you become super light. and you can fly on top of problems without, being constantly dragged down. Be aware of your resources and do not fear to discover or explore changes and opportunities. Chiara says, I cultivate these 3 skills every day, and I am firmly convinced that the more you nourish them, the bigger they will become. Well, this is the experience of Chiara, the questions I asked her, and her contribution to the business aviation and the podcast Elevenses. As always, if you would like to learn more about business aviation, private jets, VIP flight attendant life, please feel free to reach out. So thank you for being with me today. I know this is a little bit of an unusual episode of the podcast Elevenses, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed it. Baci baci!